Hello student, as you know that we are in WUD, Sonipat, World University of Design, which is one of the most important university in terms of design education because it has all the design aspects starting from architecture, B-Days, then BFA and performing art or business मैनेजमेंट डिज़ाइन सेगमेंट डिज़ाइन मैनेजमेंट सॉर्ट ऑफ ऐसे भी कोर्स यहाँ पे है. तो इन सब के बारे में बात करने के लिए नाउ वी आर क्वाइट लकी दैट वी हैव गॉट डॉक्टर संजय गुप्ता जो फाउंडर वाइस चांसलर है WUD का. तो इट्स आवर लक दैट वी गॉट अ चांस टू टॉक टू हिम एंड जो भी क्वेश्चन स्टूडेंट्स का आते रहते हैं इस चैनल पे वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट द करियर द कॉलेज एंड अदर फैसिलिटीज. सो डायरेक्टली लेट्स लिसन फ्रॉम डॉक्टर गुप्ता. First of all, thanks a lot for this opportunity because student has a lot of doubt nowadays after the pandemic. The colleges were not functioning properly, and in Delhi itself, I can say that College of Art they didn't just 0 year. They had a 0 year last year. So future की जो situation है art and design के उसको लेके लोग काफी concern है बच्चे parents भी जो call मेरे पास आते हैं. So in that aspect, we would love to get some input from you. And first of all, I will start from the very important point which generally comes at the end, which is placement. So what is the outlook about placement? Because सबसे ज़्यादा parents का call उसी में ही आते हैं. It's an expensive course generally. So we'll start from the placement.
Hello students and hello. It's a very interesting question you have asked because it's starting with placements. Placements, once I begin to answer, you must understand has a few aspects. Placement depends on both the person who is getting placed and the company who is placing him. They have certain expectation and the student must meet those expectations or excel in the areas in which they are looking at. And when the demand meets the supply, placement happens. It's very important, therefore, to prepare students according to the market demands. And that is what we have been focusing since we started this university. And this year when we did placement, they were actually pre-placement because we did them in November, 6 months before they were actually to graduate. And we were fortunate to find that almost 100% of the companies found what they were looking for. We got as many companies as there were students. Every student had more than 2, 3, 4 companies to sit for interviews. Some of them who were not happy actually had nearly 10 interviews given. They all found what they were looking for. And I think, as you would be knowing, that every institute's flag one placement which happens at a very high level. You know, NID says 70 lakhs, IIT says 1 crore. So in our case, the student was offered 24 lakhs. And when the student says that I am unable to join straight away, they raise the figure to 30 lakhs. And they are willing to give that. So that speaks volumes about the quality of the students there and the placements they are going to get. We are going to have another round for people who opted not to sit for pre-placement but would look for for proper placements in May. And we hope that these packages would also get exceeded then.
Okay, that's actually quite encouraging. So the thing is that this placement is happened across all the discipline you have, like B-Days, M-Days, all the discipline, or any particular discipline has more opportunity here? Because here architecture is there, B-Days, M-Days there, BVA, MVA there, and there is a management courses also. So all the courses get same kind
all
of...
All the courses got observed. There were enough opportunities for everyone. But yes, you are right, we had more opportunities for people in communication, graphics, animation, and even management, business programs.
And WUD is a unique program regarding that design management program.
Yes.
So can you just elaborate student about that?
Yes, that's very interesting. You see what's happening today, why every university is opening a design program is because people in India, companies, organizations, enterprises have begun to realize that to get forward, to take a growth path, to jump into the next level, they need design intervention, they need innovation, they need to come up with product or a service which is not being offered by anybody else. And therefore the design has entered into the main business language also. So you need managers who understand designers, who understand design thinking, who can do out of the box thinking, who can not go by the conventional routes but take an out of the way path and arrive at success, who can innovate, who can lead innovation, who can manage innovation, who can manage designers. So for these kind of roles, there is a huge gap because there is nobody. Because it doesn't come under finance, marketing, organizational behavior, HR, none of these functions. This is something else. And for that, we have design strategy and management. We prepare students who can go directly into business, kind of parachute onto high positions for exactly this kind of work where the competition does not exist.
It's an interesting thing, this actually about this thing only, that advertisement world started almost like with Ogilvy and Matthew, and that time it happened that Ogilvy is a manager in Absolute Vodka,
Yes.
and they thought they will present themselves differently, and they hired with one photographer, Matthew. I might change the name, either Ogilvy is the client servicing and from Absolute and like that, and they actually started the whole concept of advertising. One manager with knowledge of this thing, this
Yes,
approach.
yes.
Now it's the opposite thing. You are teaching managers to have that kind of approach so that they can take that
Because now the
business.
businesses have grown. I
Yeah.
mean, everybody from small and medium scale to large businesses need a strategy to grow in a market which is already filled, which is saturated. So you need a strategy which can give them the growth. So you need design thinkers.
So, as because this course is new, so I just want to inform our viewers more that from which field people can more succeed in this line. I'm talking about science, arts, commerce. What kind of bend of mind people can come?
See, management, if you take MBA, it is a terminal degree. People in MBA come from all streams: languages, liberal arts, sciences, engineering. They come from everywhere. Even I have seen medical and lawyers going in MBA. So that remains the same. But when you enter into an MBA, a typical MBA, you learn about the typical management functions. When you enter into a strategic design MBA, you learn about basic function, yes, but you learn more about innovation and design thinking. How to make a strategy which can manage designers, which can manage innovation, and then can put the company on the growth path. So that's how the MBA in design strategy is different, and that's why the market is also different.
So let me discuss about the teaching pedagogy then. So we understood they have a good placement. So is there anything special, special way of teaching which giving WUD a different age in this market where every college is little bit struggling about placements and all? And you actually specially said one thing very rightly, which I have mentioned a few videos back. Generally, colleges promote one or two students who gets good packages. So that's why I have written the ratio word also. That ratio is very important. कि कितने लोगों को मिल रहा है? एक दो को तो अच्छा मिल ही जाता है, खुद के भी कांटेक्ट हो सकता है, but totality में. So यहाँ पे we can see there is a good placement offering. So what is the speciality in terms of teaching pedagogy?
Yes, teaching is special with WUD. We have been here for nearly 5 years. You can go to any forum where you students generally ask for references or ask about how different colleges, what is good about WUD, what's bad about WUD. One thing you'll find common: everyone would say that WUD has a very good, friendly, inspiring faculty. That has been consistent because every student here has found the atmosphere to be very cordial, welcoming, friendly. We had students coming from international countries, and immediately in a day's time they were at home, and they were made to feel at home because of the faculty. We have students here from 22 states living together, and they are all at home with each other because of the faculty, and that's where they work. They work with the student. It's not a case where a teacher comes, says his piece and goes away. No, they work with the student. The team, the whole class is a team. They work like on projects. So it's a project-based learning, of course, at WUD, and that's where every student is involved with what is being taught. The process is important, not the outcome, and that's where I think we are different. We also make sure that we source faculty from the best institutions in the world. So all the faculty here would be handpicked, so that they are student friendly, so that they are masters of whatever they are doing, and they come from a very good lineage, which means very good institution themselves. And that is what makes our faculty here very, very good.
Okay, great. So there is nothing to ask about, and we have our students, and we get very good feedback from students. So personally, we know that here they are actually after the student to teach. It's not like अरे सीखो तो सीखो नहीं सीखो तो तुम्हारा problem. It's not like that. Whatever the change I have seen. So the thing is that this thing is there now where it should start, but मैंने उसको last पे रखा है वो है importance of degree. क्योंकि डिज़ाइन में बार बार हम लोग अपने चैनल पे ये बोलते हैं कि बहुत कॉलेजेस है बट डिग्री में बहुत इश्यूज है. सो व्हाट यू फील द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ प्रॉपर यूजीसी डिग्री या गवर्नमेंट डिग्री इन डिज़ाइन एजुकेशन? क्योंकि एक एयर है कि अरे तुम तो बाहर जाके इंडिपेंडेंटली काम ही करोगे, पता है वो करेगा, बट स्टिल डिग्री कितना इंपॉर्टेंस क्रिएट करता है. इफ यू से दैट ना, दैट विल क्रिएट एन इम्पैक्ट इन स्टूडेंट्स माइंड. दैट्स व्हाई आई वांट यू टू एलाबोरेट ऑन द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ डिग्री.
बिल्कुल. सी, डिग्री की इम्पोर्टेंस समझने के लिए, टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट, यू हैव टू लुक एट हाउ इंडिया हैज़ ग्रोन. फॉर वी आर नाउ 70 years into our independence. All through India, for first 50 years, India was only copying the imports. They were only producing cheaper what could be produced more expensive in other countries. Whereas, what was the degrees and what was the education about? Education was about creating technicians, craftsmen, people who are good in skills. So even NID was giving diplomas for 50 years, 60 years, right? NIFT was giving diplomas. It started as a diploma giving institution. It was actually me as a head of academics in NIFT who brought in the degree programs. So the degree programs in NIFT started in 2006. Before that, it was a diploma giving institution. And that was, I insisted on that because the times changed. Because today, at that time, India was looking at not just producing what others were producing. India was looking at innovating. India was looking at emerging as a design leader. It needed a more comprehensive education. It needed something which can open the eyes to a global scenario, and that is where degree becomes important. NID was also giving diploma at that time, and after looking at what NID and NIFT could achieve, NID then went for a degree program in 2016. They took 10 more years, but they also converted to degrees. So degree has become more important because degree giving institutions are managed by UGC, which means a certain standard is maintained. You come to a campus. There's a space all around. There's space to grow. There are many other kind of departments and disciplines being taught. There are students from all over the country, all over the world. The diversity is there. The space is there to think and work. Laboratories are different. Even if I am a fashion designer, I can walk into the 3D printing room of a product design department and print my accessories. That is the kind of freedom which a university provides, which roadside institutions which gives diplomas, those kind cannot give. The world has changed, it has moved on. This is the time for universities, education, for degree giving institution. And I think I explained what I.
Yeah. And you have already said one thing which I was thinking to say, that you were in NIFT for a long period of time with a very important post. So NIFT आपने देखा है. So what do you see WUD? Because जैसे NIFT फैशन के लिए, अगर मैं सिर्फ फैशन ओरिएंटेड चीज बोलूं कि एकमात्र इंस्टीट्यूशन है ऐसे लोगों को लगता है, एंड मास्टर्स के लिए भी एक बहुत बड़ी गलतफहमी है कि लोग मास्टर इन डिजाइन में जाता है कि फैशन है समझ के, बट वहाँ पे मास्टर्स में फैशन है नहीं. So where do you see WUD compared to NIFT and?
Yes, I think it's a good question. I have been in design education for the last 35 years. I was in IITs, I was in NIFT, I was with other institutions. But what I have seen is that if NIFT was fashion, they were only about fashion. I see a college of art which is only about art. We see colleges of architecture which put themselves into a fortress where nothing else can come. We have NID which is only about industrial design. We have IITs also which is only about industrial design or communication. What I'm saying here is that these are all silos. People isolate themselves and say this is the branch in which we are going to focus. But real life is not like that. Real industry needs are not like that. They need multifarious problems. They face problems which require solutions from multiple disciplines. So just being a fashion designer will not resolve an issue if you are facing a technical issue with respect to the fabric. Today in fashion we are talking about digital fashion. We are talking about wearable fashion where electronics are built in, where sensors are built in, where fabrics and garments are doing multiple jobs and not just giving you a good aesthetics. How is it possible if you are not integrating with others? So WUD was based on this learning which I got from the ministry, that there are no walls between these disciplines. They must interact, synergize, work with each other to come up with new age solutions. And new age is arriving very fast. 2 years back when the pandemic came, none of us has heard about metaverse. None of us had heard about NFTs, right? Or artificial intelligence or what it can do. We heard about it, and 2 years back we started artificial intelligence here. A year and a half before we started NFTs. Today we are talking about and training our students in metaverse. The age is changing, the world is changing at a very fast pace, and if you are not into other disciplines, if you restrict yourself to just what you are doing, you are not going to grow in future. The future would close down on you. So this is what we focus on here. I think
One thing actually also I wanted to know, because whatever feedback we get from market, people think that NIFT is the only one, and if they are not getting NIFT, they are wasting 2 years, 3 years for NIFT. And that comparison, where do you see that WD what can fill that gap, and how they can get what they are looking for? You're more.
See, I wouldn't like to say anything about NIFT. I spent a good 15 years in NIFT.
Okay.
It was a very, very progressive institution, and I think NIFT has played a significant role in changing design perception in the country, design education in the country, besides changing the whole garment and fashion this thing. So NIFT has been very, very. However, as things happen with most government institutions, it has grown older, the bureaucratic interference has gone up, And most of us who were, about 15, 20 older faculty who formed NIFT, we have all moved out. So the new generation perhaps is not as savvy or as sincere or as dedicated. I don't know. I mean, but whatever I have to say is that it is no longer what it used to be. And it has grown into a size which is again finding difficult to find qualified faculty. I think last year there were more than 300 vacancies in NIFT. So this is, so yes, NIFT has a great past. What is its current status and future? I don't want to comment. But we have just taken birth and we are going forward.
Okay, that's great. And just one, two things. I won't take much more time. Is there any plan of putting up more centers or any other interesting courses in WUD?
Yes, in terms of courses, WUD would always keep on adding courses. We have added many courses which have been copied by one and all, but we will go on adding these courses as we grow, because we feel that design as a horizontal cuts across all verticals. So we would go on adding. We are thinking about design in law, design in food, design in something else. So we'll keep thinking and coming up. In terms of other centers, we are a state private university, so we are restricted to Haryana state. However, nothing stops us from opening other state universities or other international universities. We have been receiving interest from other countries as well as other states. So that may be in future, but as of now, there's nothing on the plate.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time. I think whatever you have covered, people will get an idea and they will think about it. They should think about it when they want to become a designer. Thanks a lot. It was the most important interview I have taken so far.
Thank you so much.